Alright, Tiger. I know there's a lot to cover, so let's go over this one more time. My name is Jacob Jonah Jameson. The first. I work with my dad at the Daily Bugle. I'm a photographer right now, but I hope to run the paper one day. My dad put me and my best friend Lily on assignment to cover a genetics lab at Alchemax. They were working on some special serum to help soldiers or something. Somehow a spider got out of one of the cases and it ended up biting me. And I'm pretty sure you know what happened after that. I was thinking about keeping it a secret, but when your dad is one of the hardest hitting journalists in the country, he's bound to find out. So he got me in touch with Star, and they decided to train me as an agent. I mean, junior agent, but still. I even get training from the Winter Soldier. I already told you about him. I've seen all kinds of stuff. Fought all kinds of threats alongside all kinds of heroes. Faced all kinds of dangers. But no matter how hard I get hit, in the couple years that I've been doing this, I always get back up. No matter how many times I get knocked down. Because when things are at their worst, and the bad guys think they've won, I remind them, I am Agent Spider, and I can do this all day. Any questions? Oh, right, right, where are we? Remember the part when I said I thought about keeping my superpowers a secret? I didn't exactly tell my dad, or Star for that matter, absolutely, positively everything. I have a couple of safe houses for where I keep some of my old stuff. Oh, well, this one, and there's one near Hell's Kitchen. What? I can too keep my mouth shut. For a minute. Sometimes. Well, you don't count, Tiger. You're like me from another universe or something. That's like talking to myself. Oh, ha ha ha, very funny. I bet of all the superheroes in your universe, you're the funniest. What the heck is a Deadpool? Well, that doesn't sound very funny. Your universe doesn't sound like it's very good about humor. Yep, this is it. I call it the parlor. You know, welcome to my parlor, said the spider to the... Wait, do you have that where you're from? Oh, good. Well, you're the first person I've got to try that line on, and I'd hate to waste it. Sorry. Don't mind the mess. I'd put lights in here, but I'm worried that somebody would catch on and that there's all this stuff. Hey, Tiger? You okay? Gosh, what am I saying? How could you be okay? You fell out of the sky, and now you're in a completely different universe. That'd be awful. Unless you really don't want to be here. Or there. Or whichever it is. You know, like, do you go to school? Like, Dad, or my dad, is making me go to UNY. Anyway, if I thought I could get out of paying student loans, I'd fall into another dimension. Oh, no, 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 no. No, not JJJ. No, that's never happening. We all have to pay our own way through college. Me and my brother. He's actually biologically That's why I'm Jacob, and he's John. I'm sure you're figuring it out. Anyway, there's a police and first responder scanner and radio over there. The fridge is over here. It's got snacks, mostly sugar. Just don't tell Commander Castle. Don't get me wrong, the guy knows how to build muscle, even with my super strength. But I don't think he understands how fast I burn through calories. But yeah, in there you'll find some yogurt, protein shakes, and I try to keep at least a dozen donuts from Joey Bagos. Felix's? Oh man, I wish. They closed down when I was like 5. I miss that place. They're still open where you're from? Oh man, I could go for a sour cream donut from Felix's any time now. I'm sorry, I'm way off track. This is kind of exciting for me too. This way. There's a changing room with a full bath. If things get well, I'm sure. I'm sure that you're aware. Unless you're not. Like you have like bad run-ins in sewers with. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's what that's for. And oh yes, and over here is the workbench. Well, yeah. Before Star started working with me, I was completely on my own. So it took me a bunch of tries, but I got a working system for my web shooters. Speaking of which, I have. Where is it? It's got to be in here somewhere. Where? Aha! This. It's a little janky, but it'll work. It's a web shooter. I'm sure the design isn't what you're used to. I'm not smart like you are, so what's wrong? Well, is there a reason I shouldn't be trusting you? What are you talking about, Tiger? You're like me. Why wouldn't I trust you? Besides, we've just brought Mark to a screeching halt. And why wouldn't you trust me? I didn't do something wrong, did I? So, in your universe... you know... Yeah, I guess that does make things feel more awkward. How about I just say... where you come from? Okay. So where you come from, it's not so easy to trust someone. Even someone like me? Somebody like you? Nah, are you kidding? I don't trust everybody. I mean, Star insisted that I make my identity known, but Dad made sure that it was all done through the bugle. I mean, sure, Dad probably wanted the scoop, but he also wanted to protect me. I mean, at least in his own way. Oh no, God, I was terrified. I thought for sure Lily was going to be infuriated, but she was strangely okay. Super curious, but okay. No, she got me in touch with Dr. Connors, and with his expertise in genetics, along with the help of the Fantastic Four, we started figuring out what happened to me and how it all works. Oh, Lily. Yeah, I bring her up a lot. It's Lily Hollister. She's my best friend. Now she's the smart one. We met in grade school, because we were both orphans. And that was really the starting point. Even with Star's fancy tech and eggheads, Lily's been helping me figure out how to put away villains of every shape and size. Ned? Well, who's Ned? Oh, wait, is Ned like your Lily? Oh, that's cool. What's Ned like? Whoa, really? That's wild. I wonder if there's a Ned here. I mean like an actual Ned, not like a Lily Ned. Yeah, this does get confusing. Well, Tiger, while I appreciate the compliment, I certainly don't feel like I'm handling this any better than you are. I mean, for starters, I'm not the spider out of their web. Well, I'm a little familiar because Mr. Stark alerted us to some strange radiation and energy fluxes around the city for the last few weeks. But they've been dispersed long before any agents could come into contact. Well, most of them have been in remote areas, but none of them were in the sky. Certainly nobody's been falling out of them, and if they did, I'm sure they weren't nearly as good looking. Once the Fantastic Four know that these aren't just some form of spatial anomaly, they'll whip up a solution, and you'll be home slinging webs and catching thieves just like flies in no time at all. Hey, maybe they can find a way to let me go with you. I could meet Ned. Or I could really mess with Dad. That would be funny. Or we could grab a bite at Felix's. Oh, it can't be that bad of an idea. If one tiger is good, two has to be even better. Oh, come on. Tell me there isn't a bad guy that you don't wish that you had a backup on. Come on, tell me. Who is it? Come on, who is it? With the vulture? The shocker? Okay. Morlun. Come on, tell me it's gotta be Morlun. Green Goblin? Who's the Green Goblin? Norman Osborn? You're kidding, right? You're telling me that never not ever Norman Osborn is a supervillain where you're from? No. I suppose it's possible. It's just Norman's like a total pushover. He's practically allergic to breathing. Besides, who'd want to push him into being a supervillain? He's like super nice to everyone. Now that's someone we have here. The Rhino. I know I wouldn't mind a hand stopping old Needle Nose every now and then. And you didn't know who Director Rogers was either. So I guess that means some of our enemies are the same, but not everyone. Yeah, Mark, you must not have Molten Man where you're from. Or if you do, maybe he's like Norman and he's just not the same. Yeah, Hothead happens to flare up from time to time. Unfortunately, it's a little difficult to contain a 12-foot tall angry ball of liquid hot magma with a deranged sense of romantic entitlement. Like I said, Mark isn't a bad guy. He's just lonely and angry. If I could just get through that thick head of his and give him a good dose of reason, he'd be a real asset. Then maybe he'd get what he wanted. Well, almost. There's about a century and a half of sexist dogma in that head to clean out, and I don't think I've got a pooper scooper big enough to fix it immediately. Yeah. But speaking of fixing things, I need to get you to Star HQ. It's okay. It's okay. There's no way that anything bad will happen. I'll make sure of it. But, yeah, I know, there's always a but. If Dad catches wind that I'm swinging around town with Civilian, he'll think I'm using my powers to kickstart my dating life. That would be a mess. And Felicia's the jealous type. Felicia, she's a friend, a very let's say forward friend. But don't worry, you'll like her. And when she sees you as another superhero and not a civilian that I'm spending exclusive time with, she'll like you too. Oh, well, remember when I said that this place was for me to hide out before I started working for Star? These are my spare outfits, as well as some prototypes and some experimental ideas. I'm sure something has to fit. I told you, I'm not an egghead. Look, feel free to pick something out or mix and match, and when you're comfortable, we'll swing on over to HQ. Okay? Yeah, you can take a minute to rest.